Bruce's big call. Dinar Intel Thursday night, October 23, 25. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Transcribed by Wiser, now emailed to recaps. Intel only. Welcome everybody to the big call. Tonight is Thursday, October 23rd, and you're listening to the big call. Glad to have everybody back in again. Here we are for yet another Thursday night, and we're looking forward to having a great call. Okay, well, we're getting into the midnight hour almost, so let's go ahead and get into some intel and let you guys know what I'm hearing. Because it morphed, it easy to change from yesterday to this morning to this afternoon, Tuesday night. A little bit of a sequence here. Alright, so we talked about us being a Tier 4B. The Internet Group. We talked about Tier 4 of being the Admirals Groups plural. We talk about Tier 3 being bondholders, but there's also a Tier 1 and Tier 2 that were just paid out this week. So they have been paid out, and their arrangement is different from the bondholders in Tier 3, and it's a different arrangement from what we have. So it's not to confuse anybody. Let's just say that they have received the funds that they were entitled to in Tier 1 and Tier 2, and now it's time for Tier 3, who is supposed to be complete by tomorrow, that did not get complete yet, to continue to pay the monies from the bonds into their accounts, and that's going to continue on. That's going to continue on into the first week of November. Probably through the 3rd or the 4th of November. Now that's bondholders in Tier 3. Some were going to be paid sooner, and some are going to be paid later, like into the first week of November. But that does not affect us starting when we start, in other words, and they're going to go through into November 3 or 4th. We're supposed to start and go for 2 weeks, maybe a little longer, but approximately 2 weeks in redemption centers. When the redemption centers find that they have everybody that they think they have coming into their redemption center, then they will close those redemption centers and be done, and we know many people that are going to get noticed or already have notice. In that 2 weeks after the redemptions are done, they're gone, they're out, you know? And so that's the situation it's going to be now. I talked to you last time, which was Tuesday night, about the fact that we had certain banks that were not compliant with Basel III, or maybe not connected with the quantum financial system, or they have been one of those guilty of shorting silver, which they weren't supposed to do. So some of those banks, probably more regional, Tier 2, Tier 3 banks, maybe are gone or will be gone shortly, with certain branches available for sale, etc. So that's fine. That's okay, but I'm telling you all that to say some of these things that we see are happening obviously needed to be done. There are more things that are still, it appears, needing to be done right now. And here's the thing, we have clean up. And that's probably the best way I can say it, cleanup going on in Louisiana. If you like, it says that way. Louisiana tunnels, child trafficking, drugs, etc. Also up in Wisconsin, 3 major cities. Cleanup, tunnels, trafficking, blah blah blah. It's just amazing to me. It's everywhere, and we're still working on those. We're getting them. Believe me, they're getting it done. Gosh, there's more stuff I'd love to tell you that I'm just not at liberty learning to say. However, all of this is taking place, and we believe that. For example, I'll tell you this one thing. For example, there's cleanup. As you guys know, Ukraine is probably the worst place in the world for tunnels, child trafficking, all kinds of bad things happening down there, and it's being cleaned up. And it's still being cleaned up. And guess what? Russia is helping to clean that up. That's why we don't have a peace deal quite yet between Russia and Ukraine. We've got it with Gaza. We've got it with Hamas and Israel. At least, is holding. I believe it will hold lasting peace. But to get the in Russia and Ukraine, it's going to take, there's an agreement in place, I believe, from what I'm hearing. We could hear about it Sunday. At least, is holding, I believe it will hold lasting peace. But to get the in Russia and Ukraine, it's going to take, there's an agreement in place, I believe, from what I'm hearing. We could hear about it Sunday. This one, Thursday, Friday. What? 3 days away. But look for that. Look for a peace agreement of some kind between Russia and Ukraine sometime. Don't know when? Sometime, Sunday. All right, now, let's take a look and say, what is that saying about us? And when we start, our bondholders in the United States, we're done with the ones that were handled out of Geneva, but the ones that are being handled now are all being handled out of Reno, and they're moving right along. Yes, there have been some cleanup, quote, unquote, regarding certain of those bondholders still, but they're going through those bonds. And they're cleaning up and making sure everything is legit. All the bondholders are who they're supposed to be, etc., and that's going on from now all the way through, probably until the first few days of November. Now that does not mean we don't start sooner, and I believe, from what I'm hearing, what we're looking for. The latest thing I got this evening before the big call, I mean an hour before the big call tonight, that we are most likely getting notified Monday or Tuesday of next week. Now we could get something Sunday as a result of the peace agreements plural may be coming. But I think the one we're looking for is Russia, Ukraine. If that happens Sunday, are we off to the races, or do we wait until Monday? Probably Monday, Tuesday, notifications. Then we know that Tuesday and Wednesday 29th, 28 and 29 are in play. Are in play for us. So, I know that's a little ways off, I know, but you know what? We made it this far, and we're not going to stop now, we're going to continue, persevere and pursue this all the way to its logical conclusion, right? Some text goes here, there's no give up. There's no quit. Do you think Bob has quit? Negatron, I've not, and neither have those two, and neither will you. Those of you in Big Call Universe, you know what? What they say. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I guess, right? Well, we're all getting stronger every day. We're learning something new. Applying ourselves. We're taking what we're learning and we're saying, okay, how can I use that for what I'm gonna do with my projects? How can I take what Sue has said and apply that to my future? But we are, in a good place. However, we did get pushed. Bondholders in Tier 3 got pushed. They were going to be done by tomorrow. Not even close. They're gonna go all the way through first week of November. And we're gonna go, theoretically, this is what I've been told, we should get started before the end of October, this October now, and 28 and 29th are in play. That's Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So let's see what happens. Keep an eye out for the announcement about the peace on Sunday. I think that's what we're being told to look for it. We'll see, and want to thank everybody for listening tonight. And for Bob and Sue, I really enjoyed the call tonight. I always enjoy it, but I really did tonight. And Big All Universe, thank you for listening. Thank you, Jeannie and Pastor Scott, for your continued support. And your emails of praise and in prayer requests. And also, thank you Doug. Thank you, GCK, Larry, everybody else, obviously Sue. And Bob, thank you guys, and everybody else is listening on this call tonight. Okay, so keep in mind, and gosh, that I could keep talking all night, couldn't I really? Let's just pray the call out and see what happened now in Tuesday. Okay, we plan to do a call Tuesday. Hopefully it will be a celebration call. Thanks everybody. We'll look forward talking with you on Tuesday. Listen to the full version on the official DinarReport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon.
Source: Dinar Recaps.